Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Girl Myth, Michael Fletcher, alongside Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock, and the returning Dee Woodson. Welcome, everybody. You guys already know the drill. We're going to start it off with Smackdown Live. Oh my goodness, boy, did we have a kerfuffle at the top of the show. Okay, so when we started the show, there was some footage that happened earlier in the day, and there was an incident that had police involved and the whole 9 yards. Unfortunately, Jeff Hardy got arrested, and Elias got hurt in the process. Now, they don't know if this was a hit and run or maybe there was an accident, but Hardy was a little bit dazed and confused, didn't know what was going on. There was open beer bottles in his rental car. Basically, you could say it was a DUI for Hardy. He gets scooped up by the 5 O's and off to jail he goes. And yeah, this sucks because not only does it screw with one semifinal fight, basically the Intercontinental title tournament just went hell in a handbasket. So now we're stuck in a situation. Um, Strowman was witness. Said that someone ran the car into Elias and then ran off. Hardy was found in the bushes nearby. You can tell something doesn't seem right. Open beer bottle. It looks like Hardy's dazed and confused, doesn't know anything going on. And yet, Sheamus is the one to jump immediately and say, hey, wait a minute. Now that Hardy's out, I deserve a shot. Anthony Floyo, go ahead. Take this. I'm a little busy at the moment.
Yeah, okay. Not sure what's going on with the map there, but what was supposed to happen here tonight, folks, was we were supposed to have Elias square off against the phenomenal AJ Styles, and we were supposed to have Jeff Hardy square off against Daniel Bryan, but the chaos of the opener was very difficult to follow. I think it was likely that Jeff Hardy was framed, but it's going to take a while to get to that revelation. But this is where I'm going to have to unleash here. I thought it was very distasteful to use Jeff Hardy's past issues with substance abuse like this. Very distasteful. I mean, I really don't know what else there is to make of it, but, you know, it is what it is. And then what happened after that was we had a backstage segment. Adam Pearce acted as the authority figure. All the superstars were, you know, bickering and arguing about what was going to happen. AJ Styles was like, hey, Elias isn't here. He's being carted off. So I'm just going to take a bye right to the final, which he did. And it was approved. But Daniel Bryan was like, I don't want to do that. I want to fight. I want to earn my way. So what they did was they organized a battle royale, a 10-man battle royale, where the winner would earn the right to face Daniel Bryan in this new semifinal matchup. And just bear with me for a moment here as I try.
I'm back. I'm back.
Okay, MF is back in. So my temporary hosting duties are in the can here. Happy to do what I can. So
well, I thought you were just going to talk about the segment and then let me go right into the match, but that's all right. It's all good.
okay.
But it's just hold your mic, hold on to the mic because you're going to come right back on in just a moment. Because, like Anthony alluded to, yes, there was a 10-man battle royale, and the winner was going to face Daniel Bryan in the main event later tonight in the second semifinal match, because AJ Styles did indeed invoke that he should get an automatic bye to the final match for the Intercontinental title. He did. He's going to the finals. And Daniel Bryan, your opponent later tonight in the main event is Sheamus. Sheamus wins the bout in 10 minutes and 52 seconds, knocking out Jey Uso with a Brogue Kick as the final elimination. Anthony Florio, talk about the Battle Royale.
The Battle Royale, it worked well. It showcased Chad Gable, the returning Chad Gable, as well as Jimmy Uso throughout, who almost pulled off the big upset. The Celtic Warrior was the obvious answer for the win, but the journey to get there had enough teases to make it feel right. All in all, I would probably give this about 2.5, maybe even 3, to be quite honest. And but I got to be very honest here. The whole thing at the beginning was distasteful, and going into this show tonight, I had very high hopes. I really did, especially after the last 2 weeks. I mean, the last 2 Smackdowns have been amazing, and this one, the way this one started off with what happened to Elias and Hardy, I'm like, oh dear Lord, no! You're gonna take this away from us? You're gonna deny us a chance to see Daniel Bryan against Jeff Hardy? Now, we all knew Styles and Elias was not exactly going to be a Flair Steamboat 5-star classic, not at all. But Bryan and Hardy kind of had a little bit of that potential. And unfortunately, we're never going to know unless they decide to do it at a future time, which I would love. But that's a damn shame, man. I was really looking forward to a Bryan Hardy match. We all were, to be honest with you. I would have loved to have seen how their styles meshed. The scientific, technical background of Bryan and the high-flying aerial ability of Hardy, which would have been amazing, but would have been a damn show stealer. But anyways, Bryan and Sheamus, we get to renew a rivalry here this evening, and we'll have to wait and see. It was our main event this evening. Little spoiler alert. So that's the only thing I'll give away there. But 2.5 to 3 stars. I mean, like I said, it was a fine battle royale. It worked well, and Chad Gable rather, and Jimmy Uso showcased nicely. But Sheamus was the obvious winner here, predictable. They yanked that carrot right. They put that carrot right in front of us. That glimmer of hope, that carrot, if you will, and then they go and yank it away from you. That's vintage WWE right there. It's a damn shame. Very distasteful, if I'm going to be honest with you, especially someone of my stature. You all know how I am. Seeing that opening thing, how we started this show tonight, I can't tell you how sick to my stomach that made me. It really did. So, little mini ran over. I'm not going to go on a high horse like some have in the past. But that's really all there is to say on this. So I'm just going to leave it be. 2.5 to 3 stars for the Battle Royale. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, fresh off a busy night. We did not have our SmackDown chat this evening. Bullock had a very special commitment this evening. But Bullock, I'm sure you got word of this. What do you make of all this?
You said Sheamus won, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, the beginning, it really left a bad taste in my mouth. I mean, like you said, I was really hoping that we got to see Daniel Bryan and Jeff Hardy. And it's not just like that dangling that piece of carrot, but guys, remember that old, I think it was a Geico commercial where the old guy had like a money on a fishing pole. It's like, oh, you're so close to getting it, and then he yanks it away. That's what it felt like to me. They were dangling it just like that, and somebody yanked it. That's what it felt like to me. And yeah, I agree. Jeff Hardy was being framed. I think he was being set up, and I got a feeling, guys, somebody did set up Jeff Hardy. Do you want to know who I think it is?
I'm right
Anybody
there
want
with
to take
you.
a guess?
Oh, I already know who it is. Come on, Bullock. The writing's on the wall. Everybody knows it's Sheamus. Come on now.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
I
I
I
think
would.
it's Sheamus.
I was gonna say the only other person I would have implicated would have been Corbin, because Corbin also was demanding an opportunity at the IC title. Plus, he also had a rivalry with Elias. Remember, Elias cost Corbin Money in the Bank, big
Yeah,
time.
but when
That's correct.
But
yeah, but when you saw the beer bottle in there, I think it had to be Sheamus to set him up because he's had a problem with Jeff Hardy,
yeah,
especially ever since with Cole showing those promos leading to Hardy's return. I,
exactly.
I
No,
think
I mean
I
it could.
think
If I think the number one culprit is definitely Sheamus, and I think everybody is thinking that. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here, and I'm trying to say that hey,
well,
it might not be the obvious. Watch out, guys. Be careful. There could be a
well,
swerve here.
I wouldn't be. No, I agree with you, Fletch. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Corbin as well. I mean, that could have done that. But I'm just stating the obvious that I think it could be Sheamus just
Oh
because
yeah,
of his problems with Jeff Hardy. So we'll wait and see how it goes. But as far as the battle royale, I definitely agree. 2.5 to 3 is the correct rating for it. So I'm not going to go farther on it since I did take a little bit of time off. So I'm just going to give it to Dee Dee Woodson. So Dee Dee, hey, it's great to see you after a week off.
Yeah, it's been a heck of a week. Um, okay, I could go on a major rant for the opening segment of this because being a cop's daughter, I know that's not how you handle it. If you suspect somebody is drunk, you do a sobriety test right then and there on the scene. You don't shovel them off like that. Not until after you have more, concrete evidence than what they had. And
Well, I think the reason why they immediately arrested him was because of Jeff Hardy's past. That's why they assumed it.
it's a possibility, but still, you go through the sobriety test. You go through a breathalyzer. I mean, yeah, maybe he reeked of alcohol, but for one, why in the heck, if he hit the car and ran out, why would he be knocked out on the ground that far away from the car? Whoever did it probably took the alcohol, poured it all over him so he'd smell like it. So if they would have done the breathalyzer right there on the scene, they would have known that
that
he
his
didn't do it.
that his blood alcohol level would not be well, yeah, because blood alcohol needs to be a .08 in order for you to be illegally drunk. If you reek of it, that's one thing, but if there's nothing in your system, that's a whole different story. You make a very valid
Exactly.
point there, prosecutor.
Exactly, like I said, being a cop's daughter and the wife of a what used to be a sheriff's deputy that worked in the jail, I know these things. You don't do things like this. I mean, you could watch a show on A&E called Live PD and see that they don't do stuff like that. I mean, they ask them first,
Mm.
will you do this test? If they say no, then they take them off in handcuffs. They didn't even ask. They just threw them in the handcuffs, threw them in the back of the car, and off they went. They rushed the whole thing. They did not do it the way you would normally do it. So it was a very poorly written segment, very poorly done. Um, so right there, that right there pretty much tells you that he was set up. As far as who did it, it could, yes, there's the greatest amount of evidence goes to Sheamus because he has had all that history of being mad at Jeff, mad that they did all that special talk about Jeff and everything. But who's to say it was just one person who framed him? It could have. Corbin could have helped Sheamus and helped maybe get him out of the car. Maybe he was the one who poured the alcohol on him while Sheamus was wrecking the car. You never know. It could have been more than one person. That part is still iffy on, exactly the details of what happened. Definitely he was framed. Definitely, you can tell that, from the way that, those two really jumped in, that they look like they are possibly the top suspects on that, because why the heck would they be pushing um, or backing Daniel Bryan, which neither one of them likes, to have this match? So yeah, that's for the battle royal. I agree with the rating. So I'm not going to say too much more. So it's yours, Fletch.
All right, and then we move on to the next fight of the night, which was Lacey Evans versus Sonya Deville. And unfortunately, this fight gets thrown out. Double count out, 6 minutes and 32 seconds. And damn, man, this was actually a good fight. This was actually I'm gonna say it. We always talk about be a man fight. This was definitely a woman's brawl. This was a be a woman fight. This was stand up, get down, get dirty. Basically, fisticuffs, the whole 9 yards. The women's right versus a little bit of the MMA style. I was actually enjoying this fight, and the fight ends in a double count out. I think we got ourselves a new rivalry. I really think we got ourselves a new rivalry in WWE. I think they're gonna back burner Sonya and Mandy for the moment. I would not mind seeing Sonya Deville and Lacey Evans go at it, especially these two after what they did tonight. Dang. All right, I'm gonna say it. I just want a yes or no. Is this an NA?
Well, there was technically no decisive outcome here because both of them were counted out. But MF, I am going to give this to you. I mean, I know this would normally be the case of an NA, but I strongly feel that this match should have a rating because this match was really good before the abrupt finish. So,
All right,
I would give it 2.5 myself.
I agree.
It was a shockingly good competitive brawl. The two were all in on the story. It felt more heated and personal than any of Sonya's matches with Mandy Rose. The two just clicked. And it would be great to lean into this feud more than that one given the results to date. The sassy Southern Belle needs a new rival, and Sonya Deville could use someone that can truly test and push her limits. And for so many years, what have I been preaching about? Not just in the men's, but also in the women's game. Fresh feuds. And this is as fresh as it gets.
Dude, and I'm going to tell you, there's been some backstage stuff between these two ladies that actually has been underlined. Like, nobody really knows about it, but there's actually some legit beef between Sonya Deville and Lacey Evans. And they've been going back and forth for a little bit now. And tonight, you want to talk about lighting the match. They lit the match and boom went the dynamite, and here we go, is what I say. All right, so Anthony's giving it 2.5 stars. I agree with him. Bullock, are you in agreement, or are you going to go with the NA?
I'm sorry, guys. I mean, I'm going with the NA.
You're going NA, okay?
I have to follow the rules that we have here at the Wrestling Forum. I mean, if we had a clean outcome, I would have gone with the 2.5. But because of it ending in a double countout, I have to go with what the rules for the Wrestling Forum states. It's an automatic NA. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I would agree with you guys, but That's just how I feel. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Very well. Fair enough. And Dini, okay, we got 2.5 stars for me, 2.5 stars from Anthony. Michael Bullock is going with the traditional NA. So where do you lie?
I'm not sure where to go with this. Because the match was going really, really great, and then all of a sudden, yeah, you got the double count out thing here. And all the interference from the outside and everything. I mean, it turned into a train wreck at the end. Um, I can't give it the 2.5. I don't want to go all the way to NA, so I'm going to probably give it about a 2
Okay.
and penalize them for the ending.
Okay.
So
All right. Fair enough. It's all good. All right. So with that said, um, let's continue. Let's continue on, guys. So, uh, the next thing that we had was, I guess you could say this was the moment with Bliss. She had she it was her and Nikki Cross welcoming the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the New Day. Very funny stuff that was going out. Nikki giving the New Day Scottish pancakes. In return, Biggie pulls coffee beans out of his trunks, stirring them up with some water. Yeah, that was kind of a little. Ugh. Then there was a little bit of a back and forth thing, and then interrupted by Bailey and Sasha Banks. Bailey once again trying to hog the spotlight. Then Alexa pointing out some stuff, throwing some shade at Sasha. We already know the rivalry between these two ladies. And then it actually led to a match. Alexa Bliss one-on-one with Sasha Banks. Sorry, goddess. Tonight it was boss time. Sasha Banks wins the match. 6 minutes, 52 seconds. Michael Bullock, I give it to you, my friend.
Now, are we talking about both the segment and the match?
Yes, we are. 2 for 1.
All right, it's all right. I didn't know if it was a 2-for-1, but yeah. As far as the segment, I mean, I thought it was a nice little thing going on with with yeah, with Alexa and Nikki and the New Day, especially with them being tag team champions, the women's and of course the men's. And but yeah, I mean, all of a sudden, then my two quote unquote favorite women's wrestlers out there, yeah, right, Sasha Banks and Bailey basically show up and try to throw some shade, not just at the not just at excuse me, not just at the women's tag team champions, but also even taking a shot at the tag team champions, the New Day. And let's not forget one thing, guys. Bailey and the New Day. I mean, they had a little bit of a team back then. That was when
Bailey
Bailey
first
was
started on the main roster.
on the main roster, and boy, oh boy, I mean, what a huge difference from back then. And obviously, let's just say Alexa's not happy about it and says, you know what, let's let's get it on right now. So yeah, as far as the match goes, yeah, I'll give it about maybe one and a half to maybe two at best. Even yeah, I mean, it was a fine match. I mean, a little too short, but in the time it did have, I thought it was good. So I mean, I would have loved to see more. So, but yeah, I mean, but guys, I did hear a rumor. And now getting back to Sasha Banks and Bailey, I don't know. I don't know if you guys know about it, you remember we thought that there was going to be a match between the two at SummerSlam. We heard the rumors, but now because of the possibility of SummerSlam being relocated out of Boston, I heard that they may put off that feud or that match. So if those of you who are hoping for Sasha and to turn on Bailey or Bailey to turn on Sasha, unfortunately you're going to have to wait a little while longer. So that's just something I just wanted to bring up. So I've really got nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Actually,
Dee,
it goes
it's
over
yours.
to Didi Woodson.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Um,
Maybe they should.
I kind of like the match, but still, you have the two girls that they're at the announce table, and they're causing their issues during the match and everything, and so I'm gonna probably give it probably about 2 stars. Because like I said, I kind of enjoyed it. They tore it up pretty well. So not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I'll give it 2 stars. I thought first the segment itself was entertaining. Once again, Nikki Cross comes over. She I don't know why I'm really loving Nikki. She's really like I'm starting to get a soft spot for the Scottish lady. I know she's married in real life, so eat choose your words wisely, Fletcher. But she has become such a revelation, and she's getting so over by the WWE universe. I mean, what is there not to like about Nikki Cross right now? She is without a doubt one of the biggest rays of fresh airs we've had in quite a long time on SmackDown, and she is getting over. Last week with this promo with the Iconics, how fiery, how passionate, and really coherent her thing was. That was absolutely flawless. Now this, she's having a great week, at least promo wise. As far as the match goes, this was a solid 2-star fight. It was a good match, and on top of that, the outcome was never in doubt. Obviously, you want to give Sasha the win because you want to make her strong for the time that if she does ever do indeed turn on Bailey, it makes her a legitimate threat for the SmackDown Women's title. So, like you said, Michael Bullock just threw something out there that with the talk about SummerSlam, it doesn't look like it's gonna be in Boston now. It's probably gonna go somewhere else. That yes, the best thing to do is to back burner this rivalry for the moment. Or do you try to speed it up and then let these two go at it probably sooner than you expect? It can go either way. But right now, we'll wait and see what happens. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, I heard those same rumors myself. That's a damn shame because that's a match worthy of SummerSlam in my opinion. But anyways, the segment started out as a weird segment, but it ended up working out. Sasha and Bailey are on the top of their game, both on the mic and in the ring, and they elevated the segment from the moment the role models music hit. The match was solid, about another 2.5 or so, and helped by the enthusiastic energy of Nikki Cross, like MF said. It is interesting to watch the story of Sasha and Bailey progress. For now, the boss can overcome the role model taking advantage of her, but that may not continue forever. So in all, the match was 2.5. Segment started weird, but once Nikki got going again, there you go. So that's all I can say on that, MF. So let's move on.
All right, we did get a short fight after this. The next fight that we had was Chad Gable going one on one with Cesaro. Chad Gable wins the match in 4 minutes and 27 seconds. Um, Dee Dee, do you want to talk about this, or we could move on? I'm going to leave it to you.
I say move on.
Very well, and I'm guessing the fellas will follow suit on that. So we'll
Move on.
and there's the second. There's the second. So majority wins. All right. So next up we had. Well, okay. Then we had a lot of segments after this. We had a couple of segments. So first we had was Otis and Mandy together, and that was very interesting. You know, another little love romantic storyline. Okay, lovey-dovey type moment. We're just gonna let that be. Then we had was Kurt Angle made an appearance speaking about the past, looking forward to Edge versus Orton, promoting a match at Backlash for the Monday Night Raw side. Why? I don't know. Then he also had exciting news. And this was the moment I was waiting for. And we need to get into this because he said that the next star coming to the brand, he said the next star coming to the brand to be the face of SmackDown, and it's none other than bro. That's right, guys.
Bro.
Matt Riddle is coming to SmackDown Live. The rumors are true. We heard the rumors that because of his little run-in with Brock Lesnar, that Lesnar basically said he ain't coming to Raw. Screw you. Well, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Bro, welcome to the land of opportunity. You're going to be looking great in SmackDown Blue, bro. I can't believe it. SmackDown just scooped up Matt Riddle. Let's go. I'm so pumped. Do you guys want to go into this? Open thoughts, open forum?
I'll talk about it.
All right, Bullock, it's
I mean,
yours.
well, like you said, Fletch, this definitely comes as no surprise, and SmackDown definitely needs a boost right now because you have no Roman Reigns. Who knows when he's going to come back? So obviously, you need a big old shot in the arm, and obviously, Matt Riddle is the big shot in the arm for them. So I cannot wait to see some of the feuds he could have over on SmackDown. I mean, there are a lot of options out there of who he could face. So I'm excited. I cannot wait to see it. And Fletch, if hopefully SmackDown stays in Providence, there's a chance that we get to see him at the Dunk. But
We could.
we
Yeah,
we
very
we just
possible.
but we just gotta wait and see how everything is by then.
Yes.
Obviously. So yeah, I cannot wait to see this. And Fletch, I think we should do this together. Bruh.
Brah.
I'm guessing the other two don't want to talk about it. I guess
Well,
we. Well, I'm gonna see anyway. Florio, do you want to comment on it?
I I'm the one who broke this. Let's not kid out. Let's not forget
no,
it.
you did. You're the one who broke it. You
I
get
broke it
full
the other night.
credit. Yep.
I broke this the other night on Wednesday Night Mayhem. Um, it actually came out earlier in the week, but I could have easily had messaged that story to you guys, but I wanted to go for that big element of surprise moment, and I'm glad that I did. So, but yeah, no, I mean, this works out great. I mean, let's be realistic. MF is the Matt Riddle guy. I mean, that his character is exactly MF style, not really my style. So it makes all the sense in the world for him to go to SmackDown instead of Raw. I mean, it would be nice to have another big name. I mean, it would be great. It would have been nice to have that big name, to fill the void now left by AJ Styles. still a little fuming over that one, but I just hope the future considerations end up being a payoff. That's all I know. So, but for right now, I can't wait to see what he brings to the table. I mean, he has great moments in NXT. A former co-holder of the NXT Tag Team Championship with Pete Dunne, and then that insane match the other night on NXT in that half Lions Den, half steel cage. They called the Fight Pit, which was well done. I'm hopeful that he will establish himself on his own terms for a fresh audience, and I think he will add a new element to the Blue brand, but he also has a tendency to be too over the top for his supposed top booking. So we'll have to wait and see. But no, MF Matt Riddle is your style of guy. You love that silly, funny, ha ha. I can honestly say he's this generation's RVD. That's all there is to say on that. He's
Agreed.
the RVD for this generation.
Agreed. I was instantly was about to say that too. Very good analogy, Florio. Very true.
Only without the high flying, because he's
Yes.
not a high flyer. And you already know why he's the RVD. You know why he is. So yeah, bro, indeed. So that's a great addition for MF, and you get another big name. You just get AJ Styles back on the house that AJ built, and he's the face that runs the place again. And now Riddle coming in. I mean, think of some of the matches Riddle could have. I mean, he's way too over with the fans, so they'll probably keep him as a babyface. So Riddle possibly against the likes of Sheamus, maybe against the likes of a Corbin, maybe against a Ziggler, maybe Riddle against AJ down the road.
Everybody was all talking about that. They were talking about him and Daniel Bryan. They were talking about him and Nakamura. I mean, there was.
Yep.
I mean, there was. They were instantly talking about matches. Maybe him and even Kofi Kingston. I know. It would probably be like more like a tag
Man, oh
team.
man, if you put Daniel Bryan and Matt Riddle in there, that's got something special written all over it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, all of a sudden, and here's the other crazy thing, and this is one thing that Florio, you might not like, but it's really going to be great news for SmackDown. All of a sudden, there was rumors going around that a lot of superstars wants to go to SmackDown, not because of Matt Riddle, but when they found out that AJ Styles went to SmackDown, a lot of people started talking to Triple H, a lot of people started talking to Vince McMahon, Carano, and all the suits. Get me to Friday night. Get me to that Blue brand because AJ's there. I want a piece of him. So imagine the gold mine that now SmackDown now has, because not only do they get AJ, but I know there's a few guys that wants to test their shot at Matt Riddle too. All of a sudden, 2017 is starting to creep back into the life again with SmackDown.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Yeah, here we go again, and here we go again. It's Groundhog Day. That's all I know. Yeah, I heard that. Oh, the Ernie giggle. Oh boy, it's serious when he throws the Ernie giggle in there. And, no, trust me, I got the Burt face. I got the Burt face right now. I got the Burt face right now.
I was gonna try to go with the Muttley, but I don't think I could pull the Muttley off. Not yet. I still gotta work on my Muttley.
No, you got the Ernie giggle down pat.
Yeah.
And I got the Burt face, like I said. So, yeah. And as we've been saying, SmackDown's on the rise, Raw's on the decline. Even though Raw did have a nice bounce back effort the other night.
Oh, they did.
And on a holiday, no less.
Yeah.
So, which is very surprising. Usually the holiday shows usually are phoned in shows, but not this one.
Nope.
Oh yeah, wait till you see what we got in store for you this Monday. Ho. I'm going to preach on that later. But for
absolutely.
But for right now, MF. But there's one other possibility for Riddle. I know it's not going to be right away because he just became a daddy for the second time by JoJo. Him and the Fiend. Imagine that.
Oh.
Or
You,
Firefly Funhouse. Either way.
yeah, you do not want to throw no, you do not want to throw Riddle to the Fiend. Not yet. Because they always say the Fiend always does things to guys that kind of makes them never come back the same again. I rather keep bro for now, and then
Of
maybe
course.
down the line you can mess around with it, but nah. So
There you go. All right.
Dee Dee, do you want to put two cents in? Matt Riddle heading to SmackDown?
Well, I'm not going to say too much about that part of it. It's after that you had Sheamus doing that backstage interview, and again we bring up his hatred of Jeff Hardy, and now his hatred to Matt Riddle because they're throwing all these people in, and they're not giving him the attention he wants. One more strike against Sheamus on the opening segment, I would say.
Mm, very much so, very much so. And if Matt Riddle might want to keep his eyes peeled because he might have a Celtic Warrior that might want to try to bro kick his head off as well. So, all right, speaking of Sheamus, on to the main event we go. Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan. And when it was all said and done, the winner of the match in about 12 minutes and moving on to the finals of the Intercontinental title tournament to face off with the phenomenal AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan. He advances to the finals, and yes, Hardy was back. He showed up at the Performance Center, tried to get a little piece of Sheamus, but when it was all said and done, Daniel Bryan gets the win, the running knee to pick up the victory, and then Hardy jumped Sheamus after the match. They scrambled out of the ring. Sheamus ran out of there with the like a scalded dog, the tail between the legs, and yeah, why don't we throw his dumbass, his ginger hair ass into the checkered apron tonight too. So whatever the case may be, Daniel Bryan wins. He's going to the finals. It's Bryan versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental title, people. Let's go. So, nothing more to say. Fight of the night. This was awesome. Good psychology, good storytelling. I love that Hardy showed up. Yeah, you could make a little bit of a piss argument that Hardy didn't really need to get involved at the end. He distracted him. That probably takes a little point away from me, but I'll still give it 3.25, 3.5 stars. I give it the fight of the night, and Anthony Florio, it's all yours.
You're absolutely right, MF. 3 to 3.5 stars. Bryan and Sheamus have always been good together with time, and this got that time in a major spotlight. The energy of the Performance Center crowd gave these two extra life along the way to pull off another great match together. It was a surprising move to have Hardy return by the end of the night. It would have been more impactful if he remained in custody until next week. Now it is far clearer that the Celtic Warrior set up the charismatic Enigma. Bryan was the right man to advance. He should have a great match with AJ Styles soon enough. Few men are better in the ring than those two. If you thought their WWE Championship feud, late 2018, early 2019 was great, just imagine what an Intercontinental program with these two will be like. So it doesn't matter. Whoever wins, whether it's Bryan or AJ, legitimacy will be brought back to the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship
Agreed.
at a time when where it is so desperately needed. I mean, we haven't had the last real legitimate champion was Seth Rollins back when it was on Monday Night Raw a couple of years ago. Since then, it's been hot potatoed. We've had undeserving champions, and you know, and matches that really did not, honor the value of that title. It devalued it. Now, Bryan and AJ could Could it end up being like a Savage and Steamboat, which is still this day the greatest intercontinental match of all time? We'll have to wait and find out whenever they decide to do it. Um,
I'm thinking Backlash.
it's probably going to be Backlash. That would make the most sense. I mean, if you want to sell the buys, if you want to get the buys up there, you want to get the buy rate up there, you would have to do it at Backlash. Absolutely. I mean, that's a show stealer right there. It could overshadow Orton and Edge in that so-called greatest wrestling match ever, which I still think is a farce. But we'll just have to wait and see. So, but nonetheless, MF. I mean, we salivated over the thought of Bryan and AJ for the WWE Championship. Back, with AJ as the babyface and Bryan as the heel. Now we got the roles reversed. Bryan the face, AJ the heel. It's going to be very interesting to see how it all goes down when it goes down. So you got to go. You got another gold mine, MF. Rich keep getting richer. So nothing more to say. 3.5 fight of the night, hands down, no doubt about it. It's the second best match those two ever had. The best match we all know Bryan and Sheamus ever had was that 2 out of 3 falls match for the World Heavyweight Championship, Extreme Rules 2012. That was a 4-star match. We all agreed. So nothing more to say on this. Michael Bullock, Daniel Bryan, and AJ Styles one more time. This time, roles reversed. It's for the Intercontinental title. I don't think we're going to be hearing the words fickle and shame anytime soon.
No, the only thing we'll be hearing is yes, yes, yes. When this time around, when these two go at it for the Intercontinental Championship. 3.5. I do agree. It is the fight of the night, no doubt about it. Um, yeah, I mean, obviously, I think these two are definitely going to go at it at Backlash for the Intercontinental title. So I cannot wait to see this go down. Nothing more to say. Didi Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree with the rating. But as far as Jeff coming out, I see it kind of justified that he came out because that kind of cemented the fact Jeff was framed, and now we have the light shining on Sheamus as being the one who did it. So yeah, I have nothing negative to say on that. This was really a well done match. Definitely the fight of the night, and I can see this possibly leading into 2 matches at Backlash. Jeff and Sheamus, and then you know the other one there. So yeah, I have nothing else to say. It's yours, Sledge.
All right, and with that said, let's just go right into our final thoughts for the evening. And Anthony, I'm gonna let you lead off. So, final thought.
Third week in a row, we get another good SmackDown. Although when it comes to the 3 weeks, I feel that even though this was good, I feel this was a little bit of the worst of the 3 weeks. I mean,
I
the
kind
other
of
two were
agree with
not.
that. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like the 2 weeks were like 8.5. This was like 7.5.
Yeah, that's about right. Bryan and Sheamus fight of the night, no doubt about it. Um, you had a solid. You had some other solid matches. I mean, Sasha and Alexa renewing their rivalry from Monday Night Raw, now on SmackDown. So, MF, you got a feel of what I felt when they were on Raw a number of years ago. Um, and they had a great match this evening. A potential great new women's feud in Sonya Deville and Lacey Evans. I mean, if you would just let them go, I mean, that would have been even better. But it's a shame it had to end the way it did. But it is what it is there. But it was great. Um, the Cesaro and Shorty G, that was not as bad as people think. That was about 2.5 as well. I mean, it was a fun little sprint, and then everything else was fine to me. The only thing I did not like, obviously, was the opening. The opening was very, very, very poor taste. But it is what it is on that. So, but yeah, MF. I mean, you guys are on a roll, big time roll. So I got to give you all the credit in the world. 3 weeks in a row, and next week, next week you got yourself a women's tag team title match. You're gonna have
Mm.
Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross squaring off against Sasha and Bailey. That's got potential right there. And but the other thing is kind of nonsense. I mean, Miz and Morrison, they say they have some sort of a warning for Strowman. Okay. Um, but let me tell you, folks, come Monday night, Asuka and the Queen one more time.
Yes.
MF, you got to experience it firsthand on SmackDown, and now I get to experience it on Raw. Let's do it. So, and with the way those two have been working as of late, I got a good feeling about it. So, there's really nothing more to say here. Another very good show. Although this was the worst of the three because the other two were knocked out of the park. This one was probably more like a line drive just over the wall. I'll give you that.
Mm.
So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, your final thought on another good but not overly great SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was another good show. I mean, it's not as good as the previous two, but it was still good nonetheless. Um, yeah, there were some things that, I mean, especially the first part, the opening was something that really just rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, other matches were short, but other matches were the other matches I thought were good. So I thought this was another good edition of SmackDown for the third straight week. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Didi, what's your final thought?
Yeah, I'll agree with the rating. This was, or not rating, but I'll agree with the sentiments. This was a very good show. Um, Going back to that opening segment, you know, not only being a bad idea, we pretty much just told y'all it was a horrible segment. Why in the heck are the officers letting the referees and the we saw Jason Jordan and the security detail all coming in, but they don't let like Renee Young close. That doesn't make sense. They're kind of shoving everybody away except for certain officials. It was just bad. Um, the matches were great. Yeah, we had some short stuff, but everything seemed to be um, storyline building. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say. Definitely the start of the match with Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss. That you could definitely see the tension between her and Bailey. So they're even if they don't execute this right now, there you can see they're still building that. So you know it it was pretty much Bailey throwing her under the bus again, and yeah, she won, but still, you know, you can see that tension is building, and apparently Sasha's just either too stupid or too blind to execute it right now, so they're holding it back for some reason, and we'll find out, I guess, when they finally let them explode on each other. So I've got nothing else to say. I mean, it was a really good show. So I will see you guys Monday. Good night.
All right, Dee Dee, thank you very much. Good night. And Anthony, why don't you come on in and set the table for Monday night on Ridiculously Raw?
My pleasure, MF. Monday night on Ridiculously Raw, we're gonna run down Monday Night Raw. We got another big show on tap. I mean, this supposed retirement ceremony of Rey Mysterio. I heard of a possible rumor going around that something really big could go down during that. I'm not sharing it here. I'm going for another element of surprise moment, like we had the other night. So you're gonna have to read into that what you will. But like I just said a moment ago, Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. whoa. If past history is no indication, I don't know what I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, WrestleMania 34, the match where Charlotte won the title from Asuka, setting up that WrestleMania main event. I mean, and in recent action, so Asuka and the Queen one more time. I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be the show stealer fight right there. And Apollo Crews has actually announced that he's I guess he's taking a page out of John Cena's book. He's going to start an open challenge for the United States Heavyweight Championship. So we'll see who steps up to take on our deserving new champion on Monday night. So we have that. We'll also get into Impact Wrestling and 205 Live. And let me tell you something about Impact Wrestling. A major upset happened on Monday night. You're not going to believe the result I'm going to drop on Impact Wrestling. I'm still scratching my head. I'm like, wow, I can't believe this actually happened, but it did. And we'll also get into 205 Live as well. So that's Monday night, and immediately following Raw. And then, of course, Wednesday Night Mayhem with NXT and AEW. And then right back here next week. And not just Smackdown next week, MF. We're also going to be talking about NXT TakeOver in your house. First time in 21 years. Wow.
Yes, indeed. And that will be going down next week. We'll cover all that. It's going to be a busy week, guys, so get ready. So we got that. And that's it for tonight, y'all. So for Anthony Floyo, for Didi Woodson, for Michael Bullock, I am good old MF Michael Fletcher. Thank you so much. As always, like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share with all your friends on all the social media platforms. Until next week, so long for now.